Hi there, crazy codicos. It's been a while since we've been here on a Python tutorial, right? But it's back and I'm here, and this is tutorial number 10, and we're going to talk about the continue statement, picking up right where we left off. Um, so yeah, as you can tell already that my editor has changed because I have switched from PyCharm to VS Code. It does not make a difference as it's just an IDE, so whatever code I'm going to do here will work perfectly fine on your PyCharm. Of course, if you want, you can switch to VS Code as well. The only reason I've made this switch is because now that I'm in college, I'm actually going to be doing multiple languages and there's a lot of GitHub involved. So VS Code is just a much easier tool right now. It's more convenient for me. If you're just sticking to Python, PyCharm is perfectly fine. Keep going with it. There's no issue. You don't have to switch. All right, so let's walk into the continue statement head first. Before I do any of that, let me just switch this into a certain view so that it is easier for you guys to see it. I would recommend watching this in full screen just so you can, see it properly. All right. So we're learning about a keyword called continue today. What continue does, remember how we used break? What break did was it broke out of the loop. It skipped whatever was happening in a certain condition and then it broke out of the loop. Continue is similar to break in a way that it skips whatever happens, but it does something different. So here's what we're going to do, right? We're going to think about roll numbers. Okay. Imagine a bunch of people join a college and then some of them left. Okay. So we're going to make some of them left. So we had about 20 people in a class, out of which about only right now 13 or 14 are still in there, and about six people have left, which means we have still six seats left, right? So let's make a roll numbers list, which will contain the list of roll numbers that are still present. So 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, 10, 12, 13, 9, 10, 11, 12, oops, 13. Alright, so that's 13 random roll numbers that are still existing in class, which means there are a few roll numbers that are left that you can still assign to other people who can now join this class, right? So the easiest way to arrive on which those roll numbers are is, what if I do something like I run a for loop for I in range, because obviously we have a total of 20 seats. So for I in range 20, if I in roll number continue. Otherwise, we just want to print I. Now, of course, there's a mini mistake over here. If you take a range from range 20, it's going to go from 0 to 20, which will mean it will take 0 as one of the options. So we're going to run it from 1 to 21 instead, so that it actually starts at 1 and goes all the way to 20. All right. And here we go. So let me just put in one more print statement for the sake of it. Roll numbers still available. And if we run, I think. Oh, I'm so sorry. Let me pull this up. And now you can see roll number still available 3, 6, 8, 9, 11, 16, 17, which are all the numbers that are not present in this list. So, what exactly happened? You see, when we ran this loop, it went from 1 all the way to 20, incrementing 1 at a time, because that's how for loops work. Then we checked if I was present in this list. So when it was 1, we checked the list and it was present. So what continue did was it said, okay, so if a continue statement has been encountered, everything in the loop beyond this point will be ignored, and we will just go to the start of the loop all over again. Sorry. Yeah, we'll just go to the start of the loop all over again. So every time it encountered the continue statement, it would simply skip the print after it. And every time this condition would not be followed, would not be satisfied, the continue statement would not get executed, and the print statement would get executed, and the loop would just keep going, and we would get this list. Pretty simple. That's about everything you need to know the the continue statement. That's how it works. Also, I just realized that I haven't taught you guys something very, very common, which you will probably need, which you will definitely need, and that's taking user input. So sorry, completely forgot. So here's what taking user input in Python is really easy. So let's just say keyword. We want to take a keyword as input. We'll do input, and then over here we'll write whatever statement we want. So enter a word. Oops, RIP typing. Enter a word. That's all you need to write. And once you run this, okay, just so you guys know it's working, I'm gonna print keyword. And now when you run this, it'll ask you for a word. So say you said sun. Oops, please type. Oh, okay. My bad, my bad, my bad, my bad. There we go. Running it in terminal, right? Enter a word and we say sun. And it prints sun. So you see how that worked out, right? Now, what not always you're going to want this to happen. It's usually what happens is this will always have a data type string. So the default input data type is a string. Sometimes you might want an integer. So that's not an issue. You simply explicitly convert it into an int, right? There you go. Let's run Python file. And now when you enter an int, and that's about it. So now you know how to take user input and you know how to work with the continue statement. Alright, another one quick thing that I want to show you guys is what if you want to take a list as input. So what you do instead is instead of this, instead of int, you change it into a data type called eval, and then you can take a list, a tuple, or a dictionary as your input, and it will work. So now I could just enter a list and prints out as a list. Alright, perfect. That's about it for this video, and I will see you next Wednesday with a whole new tutorial. And that's it. Bye bye.